You're back.
I'm back. Taylor, what do I say to the people whose hearts are broken about the fact that I disappeared? Where do they go? To Facebook to look at the whole thing, or where they are?
Yeah, but so they're
Stay
here
where you
now.
are. You're
They
doing
didn't
great.
miss anything.
You're
They
doing
didn't
great.
answer anything else.
Okay.
Yeah, but this will be posted on all of the platforms for eternity.
So how to get the word out? So if you buy into this idea that you have to touch a Kardashian level audience in order to have your work be seen, you're never going to succeed, because the Kardashians already are the Kardashians. No room for them. So what's the alternative? The alternative is the smallest viable audience. What would happen if you told 10 people who trust you, 10 people who care about you, 10 people who are aligned with where you're seeking to go? What if you told 10 people about your idea? Would they tell anyone else? If they don't tell anyone else, make something better. If they do tell someone else, the idea begins to spread. And that is the secret of marketing in 2020. That you never saw an ad for Instagram before you heard about it, because people on Instagram told you about it, because it was worth them telling you about it. You never saw a Super Bowl ad for Twitter because they never ran one. You heard about it from people who decided it was worth talking about. Begin with 10. Every single successful podcast that isn't from a famous person only had 10 listeners to its first episode. Only 10. And then it spreads, if you make something worth spreading.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a lot of questions coming up about this, so I feel like I gotta throw it up there. This one's from Parveen about graduation 2020. So high school students, college students, whether you're a grad student and you went back to school and you're looking for that graduation walking across the stage and it's not happening. What is something positive that you can think about or do during this time to still celebrate?
Okay, well, I'm going to answer the second part because some people saw it posted. Would I consider doing a virtual commencement speech? Rule number 1, don't drive
I didn't even see that part.
Don't drive on the Cross Bronx Expressway during rush hour. Rule number 2, don't give a commencement speech. Commencement speeches are for an audience that doesn't want to hear you in a place they're eager to leave now that they've gotten there. No commencement speeches. But the first part is more important, which is you should organize your own commencement. You should organize your own new ceremony, your own new rituals, your own new connections to commemorate this moment. Because if you don't, it's not going to get done as well as if you did. And in terms of the positivity, it's this. Congratulations, you have escaped the educational industrial complex, at least for a little while. Congratulations, there's no longer a grade, there's no longer a test. Congratulations, now you can go build something. Now you can go do work that matters. Now you can organize. Now you can lead. Stop waiting for instructions. Go do something. Because it's in this post-slog moment, as we're about to enter it, that the future is going to be invented. After the dot-com bubble burst, that's when Google showed up. That's when Facebook showed up. Make your list. After the 2008 housing crisis, that's when a whole bunch of new fresh air showed up. Destruction is painful. It's a tragedy. Now what? What are you going to do about it? Don't wait. Don't do it because I said to do it. Do it because you can do something better.
Yeah, and I think someone brought a good point up in the comments. Graduation itself, people are still graduating. It's the ceremony that's been canceled or moved online or postponed. So it's still worth celebrating, that amazing accomplishment. So definitely, find ways to do that, whether it's online or postponing something.
Could you talk about the free program you're going to be running?
Yes. So the Emerging Leaders Program is happening at the beginning of June. So June 1st through 5th. It's all online. And it's for college students who are looking to really level up and find clarity on their path forward. So for 5 days, we'll be having really meaningful conversations, tough conversations, working on projects, shipping things quickly. As someone who is a recent grad myself, I know that some of these concepts that I've learned through just working at Akimbo has helped me a lot. So really took that into the back of my mind of what do I wish I had learned a couple of years ago.
Great leadership on Taylor's part. She's running the whole thing. It's free, but it's competitive to get into. Go to akimbo.com. There's the link if you're on Facebook. But if you go to akimbo.com, you'll see a link right there on the homepage. We would love to have you apply. Deadline for applications is soon, and we penalize the last 30 people who apply. So don't be one of the last 30 people, because we don't like people who wait to the last minute.
Yeah. And while we're talking about what else is going on in the world, someone asked, or I guess not what's going on in the world, but what else we've been up to. Someone before lost their name when we lost Instagram, but they were wondering about why the Alt MBA is called the Alt MBA.
Do you know how many 6-letter domains there are? Not that many that are worth owning. I already owned it. And so when we started, we were only going to run it once. When we started, there was no alt stuff in the ether about politics. And when we started, I figured people would realize it's not an MBA. It's all about the alt part. It's about a 30-day chance to emotionally and conceptually level up without wasting 2 years of your life and $250,000 at Stanford. So we don't teach the Black-Scholes option pricing model. We don't teach modern monetary theory. We don't teach a course. We run a workshop. And so the Alt MBA is called the Alt MBA because that was a domain I already owned. I also own sniro.com, and I didn't call it Sniro. But if someone wants to make an offer for Sniro, it's for sale.
All right, so some people are asking, like, just going back to the Emerging Leader Program, is it for me? Am I in the right, demographic of people who are going to be applying to this? You can check it all out at akimbo.com/emergingleaders. We have more details there. You are welcome to apply if you're not a current college student, if you're a high school student, or you are graduating in, May or June 2020. We definitely encourage those folks to apply.
But it is not for people like me, and probably not for people like you, because otherwise it wouldn't work. It's for people who are launching into the world.
Yes, and for those who aren't, we have plenty of other things going on at akimbo.com that are for them, so they can check those out. Cool. And while we're on the topic, let's also just mention that Real Skills is coming up. So we've had so many questions coming up about virtual conferences, so I just want to address this myself a little bit. There's a lot of cool things that we could be doing online and connecting that are better than in person. And we found that in January with this virtual conference that we had, and we're redoing it again. It's happening next week, next Friday, April 24th. So if you want to check that out.
There's only like 50 slots left though, right?
Yeah, there's not that many spots left. So, we said registration would end next week, but in all honesty, it won't. So yeah, hop there soon, but it's a way to really see what it's like to connect in a meaningful way online. And a lot of these schools that are doing things right now, it's incredible, the professors and teachers who are putting in the work to moving things online. But it is a quick hack for many of them, trying to figure out how to navigate it. And this is something that we're excited to share with those who are...
If you're teaching something online, please steal what we've been building for 4 years, because it's given us a stomachache to watch how poorly it's getting done.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take like 2 more questions. This has been a long live. This one is about taking risks, which I think is really interesting when thinking about, when we go back to the beginning of this conversation, becoming a different person by August or whenever that mark is that we want to kind of measure ourselves by. Ryan said, what are your thoughts on making a risky decision? I'm not usually one to do this. What should I do if my decision ends up having a bad outcome?
Yep. Okay. So can we talk about risk for a minute? Because these are fraught times. And when the world is topsy-turvy, it's easy to avoid risk. What is risky? Risky is walking on a tightrope across Niagara Falls, because you only get one chance. And if you fall, you're dead. Do you know what's not risky? What's not risky is showing up and offering to help somebody and them saying no. Because if they say no, you can go help somebody else. That's not risky. It just feels risky. That if you're at an event and you don't raise your hand to ask a question because it feels risky, that's not risky. It just feels risky. And people say, I don't want to apply for the Alt MBA because I'm afraid I won't get in. Well, who would find out if you didn't get in? It's free to apply. What's the risk? That's not risky either. So what we are pushing so hard is apparent risk. Apparent risk is something that feels risky that actually isn't. So here's the biggest risk that most people aren't willing to take. Trusting yourself enough to try to be better. Trusting yourself enough to say, I am going to try by September to have more real skills. I'm going to try to be a leader. I'm going to try to show up more meaningfully and be a contribution. That's not really risky. It just feels risky. Because if you try and it doesn't work, you can go back to being the way you were. No one will notice. But this commitment to choose to be better at it is key. That in my new book, which I can't talk about, which comes out in many months, I talk about a study.
So vague.
I talk about a study among swimmers. And what they found is that the biggest difference between a college swimmer, an intramural swimmer, an Olympic swimmer, a state swimmer, was not diet, training, exercise. It was their decision at what level they were operating as a swimmer. That's the biggest difference. People like us do things like this. What kind of people you want to be?
Like, that was a mic drop. Like, I have one more question ready, but I'm not even sure.
Save it for next time.
But I will.
Okay.
Okay. I'll ask it, because I think it's a good one. It's from Kyle. He said, what do you think of the phrase, fake it till you make it?
Okay, so now we're going to get into imposter syndrome.
Okay, this is a good question.
There are two kinds of fake it till you make it. The fake it till you make it of someone who doesn't have a degree in dentistry who's pretending that they can fix a filling in your mouth is not okay. It's fraudulent. That person is deceiving others and doing low quality work. But imposter syndrome is the feeling we have of being a fraud because we are leading. When we feel imposter syndrome, who am I? Where's my certificate? I am talking about a possible future that I can't guarantee is true, right? In those moments, we feel imposter syndrome. And people say, how do I get rid of imposter syndrome? And they're stunned when I say, you can't get rid of imposter syndrome because you're an imposter. And so am I. That what it means to be a leader is to describe a future that hasn't happened yet. So how can you know for sure? You have to fake that if things go the way you expect them to, this is a possible outcome. And people need you to show up with passion and enthusiasm about that possible future. If you want to call that faking it, go ahead. I'm calling that the generous act of leadership. And what we have the choice to do is not selfishly deceive others so that we can get something from them, but to generously lead other people, because that's the only way forward.
I had to add myself in, sorry. Yes, okay, so what is going on? We're adding this up, and I have something cool that's a surprise actually for you, Seth.
Oh, no.
For something I'm going to do at the end of this.
Magic tricks? Yeah?
It's not really a magic trick,
Okay.
but it's like my version of it through this streaming thing. So anyways, if anyone wants to check out any of the things we talked about today, akimbo.com should lead you to all of them. Seth, anything else you want to close with before I do my cool thing?
Well, I just want to say that our colleague and friend and hero Czar is building her sunscreen empire even bigger, and tomorrow is her last day with us, and we will miss you.
Yeah. All right. And on that note, here I go. I'm going to do our cool thing. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in.
You got it. You nailed it.
Woo!
See you. I'm hanging up now.